So we just saw the discovery of the electrons. Now we go further in the atomic structure, the discovery of protons. Scientist Goldstein in 1898, that means just after a year from the discovery of the electrons, Goldstein did the experiment using the cathode rays to give rise to the discovery of protons. So he said that constituents of positive rays, that is particles that contain protons. So for this he took his cathode rays and then Goldstein used a modified cathode ray tube with a perforated cathode. He observed a new type of rays produced from the anode passing through the holes of the perforated cathode. These rays were called as anode rays. So what he did was that when he took a perforated cathode, so if you are taking a cathode ray tube, so this, you know that this is a vacuum tube and this is the cathode which is connected to cathode, the negative charge, anode, and there is a perforated cathode. The perforated cathode means it has got holes in it, and when this particular cathode is made to give rise to the cathode rays, cathode rays are going to come in this way, it was found that opposite to this, on this side over here, because of the perforation, there were positively charged rays. So positive rays were seen on the opposite side, and this positive rays what were there are nothing but the anode range. So this is the anode ray. Okay, so anode ray was seen as in the discharge tube. So this anode ray was found to be the presence of protons or positively charged particles in the atoms. So conclusion was that anode rays or positive rays consist of positively charged particles known as protons. So it came to be known that it was positively charged particles which were known as protons. The positive rays were affected by electric and magnetic fields, but in a direction opposite to that of the cathode ray. So here also this particular thing was affected by the positive and negative plates of a magnetic field, but it was a direction opposite to what the cathode rays would be giving you. If the cathode rays are moving towards the positive terminal, they will move towards the negative terminal. Okay, so in this way the direction of the or the deflection which was taking place in the positive rays, the anode rays, was opposite to that of the cathode rays. So conclusion was thus with the discovery of the positive charge, proton was initiated. So that's why the first electrons got initiated and then protons got initiated. So this gave the scientists an idea, okay fine, everything is fine. So we wanted a particular kind of a substance. This substance is there. This substance is such that it has got negative charge, and then they came to know that it has got positive charge also. So along with each negative charge there is a positive charge, and hence this particular thing is electrically neutral. Okay, उनको अभी लगा कि ठीक है, everything is confirmed that it has got positive, because see the point was that when they came to know that if there are electrons which is negatively charged particle in the atom, automatically if the atom is neutral, there has to be some positive charge, only then it will cancel out. इसीलिए उन लोग ने easily उसको find out कर दिया, and that is why you can see in just in a year's time they could find out that associated with the electron is a proton. So that's why the number of protons and the number of electrons present in an atom is always the same, which makes the overall atom electrically neutral. But then they found that they somehow could manage to get the mass of one proton. Okay, this is because they found in the mass of hydrogen, and they knew that hydrogen has got one proton in it, and they could get the idea about helium, which has got two protons in them. So when they come to know that if one has got one and another has got two, the mass wise it was 4 times. Mass wise the mass of the helium was 4 times. So then they got an idea that there has to be something else present in the atom which is electrically neutral, but it has got the mass which is adding to the total mass of the atom. And that is how the neutrons were discovered. So you can see over here, Lord Rutherford study of atomic molecules leading to the discovery of atomic nucleus. Rutherford projected alpha particles towards a thin gold foil in a path of the rays. He saw that most of the alpha rays went straight through the foil, but some were deflected slightly and some by an angle. An atom of the whole is relatively empty but consists of concentrated positive mass in the center, which led to the diffraction of the alpha particles. Thus, the discovery of the central position region called as the atomic nucleus was initiated. So, first of all, before the neutrons could be initiated, they came to know that the atom का nucleus होता है. So, पहले they felt that everything was like this, positive, negative, like this. Then what happened is they came to know about the fact that at the center is the nucleus. So this is the nucleus, and then there are electrons over here. This they came to know by Rutherford's experiment. In Rutherford's experiment, what they did was that they took a gold foil, which was a very, very thin foil, and to the thin foil, they allowed or they passed alpha particles. Now, alpha particles are made up of protons. So they took alpha particles and made them pass through like this. So they took alpha particles like this. These are the alpha particles. Suppose this nucleus, so this nucleus is over here, right over here, and there are electrons over here and here and here. These are electrons. Why? Because I can see this thing like this. So if I see from here, I can see this as a straight line. Okay? So see, it is like this. This is how you see this over here. This is the nucleus and these are the electrons. Okay? But if I see it like this, then how does it see? There's a nucleus over here, okay, which you can see only like a thing over here like this. And the electrons will be here, over here, here and here, because it is actually here. So this is exactly what we see it in a cross section. It was seen that the alpha particles which are coming over here, they got deflected completely. They just got deflected completely. Okay? Indicating that this is positive charge. Why? Because the alpha particles are positive, and if this nucleus is positive, only then it is going to repel, because unlike charges are going to attract each other, whereas the like charges are going to repel each other. So due to this like charges repelling each other, we come to know that the center में, क्योंकि और कहीं पे भी ऐसा नहीं हुआ that it is returning back. Only the center ones were the one which are getting reflected back. The one which came near to this one, they got just deflected a bit. Okay, this one deflected a bit. Some of them just passed through directly. This got deflected. Deflection कब आएगा? Deflection आएगा जब ही there is an attraction, but they could not hold the material. So because they cannot hold it, that's why it is getting deflected. So they came to know that this is negative charge. The negative charge just deflected it. So that's why wherever deflection was there, they came to know that it was electron present over there. But जहाँ पे most of the cases just went past through, and when it went past through, it means there is nothing in between. Hence they came to know that nucleus at the center, which is positive. Over here is all empty space, and at certain places there are electrons. So these electrons which are here, they are going to deflect the venom. So accordingly, due to this particular experiment done by Rutherford, we came to know that there is a nucleus at the center. The nucleus contains positive charge, and the other areas contains electrons revolving around this nucleus. So conclusion was that the atom of a whole is relatively empty but consists of a concentrated positive charge in the center. It is a concentrated positive charge in the center which leads to the deflection of the alpha particles. Thus, the discovery of the central positive region atomic nucleus was initiated. Now we come to the point, that is the neutrons. You can see the neutrons. The discovery of protons was done in 1898. By 1911, Rutherford's का भी nucleus का भी discovery हो गया था. But after another 21 years, the neutrons were discovered. Till that time, nobody knew that there are neutrons present in the nucleus. James Chadwick in 1932 studied the atomic nucleus leading to a discovery of neutrons. So the postulates of Chadwick are: since electrons have negligible mass, the mass of the atom, atomic mass, should be equal to the mass of the protons. So up till now, what was the condition? We know that the atom consists of protons and electrons. We come to know that the mass of our electron is almost 0 and the mass of the proton is say 1. So automatically, whatever is the number of protons should be equal to the mass of that particular element. So the mass of element should be equal to the mass of the protons or the number of protons. However, in case of helium, which has 2 protons in its nucleus, the atomic mass was not found to be equal to the mass of the protons. So here, as I told you earlier, that हाइड्रोजन का एक प्रोटॉन है और उसका मास 1 है. हीलियम में पास 2 प्रोटॉन्स है तो उसका मास 2 होना चाहिए, बट मास ऑफ द हीलियम इज 4. So that means that there and electrons have no mass. So that means there is some another particle present in the atom which is having the mass equal to the mass of the proton, but it is electrically neutral, and hence we are not able to identify that particular particle from the atom. So however, in the case of helium, which was 2 protons in its nucleus, the atomic mass was not equal to the mass of the proton. Conclusion: it was therefore proved that in the nucleus of the atom at present particles which has no charge. So in the nucleus there has to be certain particles over here. For protons, there has to be certain particle over here which has no charge, but mass equal to the mass of the proton. So that means it is like a proton, but the charge is 0, but the mass is equal to that of proton. Thus the discovery in the atomic nucleus of the neutron was initiated. So accordingly, we saw that we came to know that the atom was made up of 3 particles, that is protons, electrons and neutrons. So these were the 3 particles. PEN, we call it as PEN, PEN, that is proton, electrons and neutrons. So in this way, the discovery of the particles was done. So what we discovered was, first, with the help of the cathode rays, we discovered the electrons. Who did that? So William Crookes discovered the cathode rays, and then it was J.J. Thomson who discovered the electrons. The next was the discovery of protons. The discovery of protons was done by Goldstein. Then it was Rutherford who gave the discovery of the nucleus at the center and the electrons outside. And then it was Chadwick who gave the discovery of the neutrons. And then it was the atomic structure which was given by Niels Bohr. Niels Bohr, that is 1940. In 1940, he gave the atomic structure that it was this way, that the atom has got the nucleus at the center which contains the protons and the electrons, and then there are orbits in which the electrons are revolving around the nucleus. So this way the kind of the structure of the atom was given by Niels Bohr in 1940. So discovery was location and mode of rotation of electrons around the nucleus. So he discovered the location and the mode of rotation of the electrons. So Bohr's atomic theory postulates are electrons revolve around the nucleus in fixed orbits called energy levels. The energy level 1, 2 and 3 are represented by the integers n or as k, l, m, n. So it is this way, that this is the k shell, this is the l shell, then there is one more shell m, and then n, and so on. So the electrons are revolving in shells called as the energy levels. So the energy levels, each and every energy level, its energy of its own, due to which the electrons are not going to go inside or they are not going to spiral into the nucleus. It would not happen that nucleus यहाँ पे है जो positive charge है तो electrons को attract करके electron अंदर ही चला जाए, वैसा नहीं होगा, because the energy of that particular shell is going to allow it to rotate in one particular direction or in one particular orbit only. So electrons rotate around the nucleus in one or more of the energy levels. Now representation of an element as per the modern atomic theory. So now as per the atomic theory, what we have is subatomic particles. The 3 subatomic particles are protons, electrons and neutrons. So we have got three subatomic particles: protons, electrons and neutrons. Or protons, neutrons and electrons, protons and neutrons being the nucleus. They are called as nucleons. So nucleus, the nucleus is found in the center of the atoms and contain protons and neutrons. So the nucleus contains protons and neutrons, hence the protons and neutrons combine together. So you can see the protons, so P protons which are positively charged, and then a neutrons which has no charge, or I'll just call it as neutral, and these two are in the nucleus and hence they are called as nucleons. Okay, the nucleons is the name given to the protons and neutrons because they are present in the nucleus, hence they are called as nucleons. And then there is the electrons. So E is the electrons, and these electrons are negative charge and they are present in orbits or shells or energy level. Okay, they rotate around the nucleus in energy levels. So electrons revolve around the nucleus in the imaginary path called shells or orbits. So orbits are the imaginary path in which the electrons revolve. Nucleus contains protons and neutrons, and electrons are present in the nucleus. So protons are subatomic particles with a positive charge and the mass is equals to 1. The mass of this is equals to 1. So this is equal to mass 1. This is also mass 1. The electron's mass is 0. That is negligible. The mass of the proton is 1 atomic mass unit. The neutrons is 1 atomic mass unit, and that of electrons is negligible, almost 0. So the charge on proton is positive, plus 1. So yeah, that is also written over here. Plus 1 charge, mass 1 AMU. This is no charge, 0 charge and 1 AMU. And this is minus 1 charge and 0 AMU. Okay, AMU is atomic mass unit. So now we study about the atomic number, mass number and things like that. Now, just for your information, there is some short thing about the periodic table. Now, periodic table was the one which was given by many of the scientists together, but as such we can consider that Mendeleev was the one who gave this periodic table for the proper periodic table in the first time in 1869. And the periodic table is made in such a way that they are having the atoms in the increasing order of their atomic masses arranged in a particular order. So you can see over here it's a table, it's a complete table in which the atoms are going to be, elements are going to be placed, and the placement of the elements will be in the form that it is in a continuous form, that is it is in the form of ascending order of the atomic number. So सबसे पहले hydrogen आएगा because उसका atomic number is 1, then helium because atomic number 2, and then it is lithium with the atomic number 3, then beryllium atomic number 4, and so on. So in this way you have got the 118 elements which are discovered as on date present in the periodic table. So in this case you can see that the first 10 elements of the periodic table are very important for you to learn, because you are going to draw the atomic structure of the first 10 elements. So because in fact you will need to learn the first 20 elements of the periodic table. So first 20 element means the atomic number 1 से लेकर atomic number 20. So I'll give you a trick on how to remember the atomic numbers. So first of all, the first 10 elements are hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine and neon. So let's remember let's find out how to remember these 10 names. So let's first of all learn this 10 of them. What we can see is hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, okay, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, fluorine and neon. These are the 10 elements. How do you remember them? It is hi, hello, listen to, this is BBC, it's BBC, N is for news, on Friday night. Okay, this is how you remember the first 10 of the periodic table, or the first 10 elements from atomic number 1. This is atomic number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. The first 10 elements of the atomic of the periodic table is hi, hello, listen to BBC News on Friday night. Okay, hi, hello, listen to BBC News on Friday night. Hi, hello, listen to BBC News on Friday night. Of course, the sentence would be easy to remember, but at the same time, it is necessary for you to remember that what each and every alphabet stands for. So, hi, hello, hydrogen, helium. Listen to, listen, Li. Li means lithium. Okay. So, this is hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium. This is Be is beryllium. Then boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine and neon. Okay. H for hydrogen, He for helium, Li for lithium, Be for beryllium, B for boron, C for carbon, N for nitrogen, O for oxygen, F for fluorine, Ne for neon. These are the first 10 elements of the periodic table, or we can say the first 10 elements based on the atomic numbers. So this was a short thing about the periodic table, and now we see the atomic numbers and the mass number. So first we have is the atomic number. I will erase this part. So what we have is atomic number. This is given by the letter Z. Atomic number of an element is equal to the number of protons in the atoms of an element. Since atoms are electrically neutral, so the number of protons is equal to the number of electrons. Therefore, atomic number of an element is equal to the number of electrons in the element of an atom, or we can say that Z is equals to number of protons, the number of protons, or is equals to the number of electrons present in an atom. Or in fact, we should write it small because proton is small, electron is also E small. So atomic number is number of protons or is equals to number of electrons. So the number of protons or number of electrons. Why is it that both of them? Because an atom is electrically neutral. So all the atoms, I'm not talking about anything else, I'm talking about atoms. If they are electrically neutral, that means the number of protons in an atom is equal to number of electrons. So when I say atomic number 11, that means it has got 11 protons and 11 electrons in it. If I say the atomic number of any particular element is 27, that means the number of electrons are 27 and the protons are 27. Got it? If I say the atomic number, let's say the atomic number of nitrogen is 7, that means nitrogen has got 7 protons and 7 electrons. Oxygen has got 8 protons and 8 electrons. Neon has got 10 protons and 10 electrons. Got it? So the atomic number gives you the number of protons and number of electrons present in a particular atom. The next is mass number. So the next one over here is mass number. The mass number is given by the letter A. What is it? Mass. Mass, yani uska wazan. we know that the complete mass out of protons, electrons and neutrons, which are the one which has got mass? It is the protons and the neutrons. Electrons do not have mass. So protons and neutrons is the total mass of the elements. That's why we see that atomic mass is nothing but the number of protons plus the number of neutrons present in it. Okay? The sum of protons and sum of neutrons is the atomic mass of that particular atom. So the total number of protons and neutrons in an atom of an element, since electrons carry negligible mass, the mass of an atom is almost the mass of the protons and neutrons in the nucleus of an atom. Hence, mass number A is protons P plus number of neutrons N. Got it? So this is how we find out the mass number. So mass number will give you the number of protons plus the number of neutrons. So you can see over here that if I know the atomic number and the mass number of any element, I can find out what is the number of protons, electrons and neutrons present in that particular atom. Let's see how. Suppose I come to know that let's think about this particular nitrogen. So the nitrogen, if I say nitrogen, if I say the atomic number Z is equals to 7, and if I say that A is equals to 14, suppose I tell you that the number of, that is the atomic number of nitrogen is 7 and the atomic mass is 14, from this I come to know that P is equals to 7 and E is equals to 7. So over here I know that A is equals to P plus N, where A is 14 and P is 7. I can find out N. So N will also be 14 minus 7 is equals to 7. Accordingly, I will be having that P is equals to 7, E is equals to 7 and N is also equal to 7. This is the case of nitrogen. Let's take one more example. We'll take the example now of, let's say, sodium. Okay? Sodium का लेते हैं. Sodium, it is given that the atomic number, that is Z, is equals to 11 and the atomic number mass is 23. So with this I come to know that P is equals to 11, E is equals to 11, and I know that A is equals to P plus E, where A is 23 and P is 11. So electrons over here, sorry, there's a neutrons. So it is N. So what will be N? N will be equal to 23 minus 11 is equals to 12. Hence in the sodium atom, we have got P is equals to 11, E is equals to 11 and N is equals to 12. Got it? So this tells us that whenever you have the number of the atomic number and the atomic mass number, that is the mass number A and the atomic number Z of any element, you can find out that what are the number of protons, electrons and neutrons present in that particular atom. Is it clear? Good. So you're given the example over here of atom. So here it is also seen that any element is given by the name. So for example, sodium over here is given by the name in such a way that there will be Na written over here and the mass number will be written on the top like this and the atomic number given like this. It can also be given like this, Na and then 23 over here and 11 over here, or 23 here and 11 here. So basically ऊपर के side पे mass, नीचे के side पे atomic number. So this is how you are going to represent any element. So normally it is also represented this way in case of the periodic table. So this way you can see that the hydrogen is given as 1 1. That means it has got 1 proton, 1 electron, but the neutrons are 0 because the mass is just 1. So that 1 mass is of protons, so neutrons will be 0. Whereas carbon is 12 and 6. So 12 is the atomic mass and 6 is the atomic number. Atomic number is 6, so the protons are 6, electrons are 6, and the neutrons will be 12 minus 6, 6. Accordingly, there will be 6 protons, 6 electrons and 6 neutrons. We now move on to atomic weight, the relative atomic mass. So mass of an atom determined by indirect method is found to be very small. They were taken in comparison with other particles such as hydrogen and later carbon as a standard for comparison. So relative atomic mass is equal to number of times one atom of an element is heavier than mass of an atom of hydrogen, or number of times one atom of element is heavier than 1/12 the mass of carbon atom. See, you cannot have a standard kind of a quantity for the mass of an atom. So what we need to do is compare the mass of the atoms with another atom. So first of all, we started comparing everything with hydrogen because we know that hydrogen ka atomic mass number is 1. So if I take oxygen and I come to know that oxygen is 16 times heavier than hydrogen, that means if hydrogen is 1, oxygen will be how much? 16. Okay? If I come to know that nitrogen is 14 times heavier than hydrogen, that means if hydrogen is 1, then nitrogen will be 14. So this way you get the atomic weight as the relative atomic weight. What is relative? Why it is relative? Because it is related to hydrogen. It is not a direct value. इतना नहीं कि ये इतना ग्राम या उतना kg, ऐसा नहीं है. वो क्या है? It is a value which is in comparison to the number of atoms of hydrogen. That's why we are calling it as a relative atomic weight. Okay. And later on, they started comparing with the 1/12 of the carbon. See, carbon ka mass is 12. The mass of carbon is 12. So if I take 1/12 of carbon, automatically it will be 1 mass, okay, of mass of one particular part of it, or 1/12 the carbon atom will be 1. If carbon is 12, so automatically 1/12 of carbon will be 1. So that is what they are taking. Instead of taking hydrogen, hydrogen they were not taking because they found that hydrogen had got too many isotopes inside, so which created problem. So that's why they started using 1/12 of the carbon atom as the basis for relative atomic mass. Accordingly, the relative atomic mass is the number of times one atom of an element is heavier than 1/12 the carbon atom. And of course, the molecular weight, ये एटम का है. मॉलिक्यूल्स कैसे बनते हैं? मॉलिक्यूल्स आर मेड बाय कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ 2 or more atoms to form one particular compound. So that is one molecule. So the relative molecular weight will be, of course, the same way when we are comparing with one atom of hydrogen or 1/12 the mass of carbon atom. So relative molecular mass is equal to the number of times one molecule of a substance is heavier than the mass of one hydrogen atom, or number of times one molecule of substance is heavier than 1/12 the mass of an atom of carbon. Okay, so this is what is relative molecular mass and relative atomic mass. Very important over here. Now we see the electronic configuration. So electronic configuration, I think we can take it in the next video.